sins down to black earth and rain. Blow away into the night 1,000 tiny points of light. Ain't it hard to watch another evening slip away? It's a shame. Ain't it a shame now? It's a shame. Ain't it a shame? And did you know that you were playing with the sharp edge of a knife? It seems like everyone is praying for eternal life. Far away in the burning hills of Zion, betting on an afterlife to try on today. Fear guides the hand of a broken down young man, and we all need a piece of land to die on, they say, but it's a shame. Ain't it a shame now? It's a shame. Ain't it a shame? So you wanna live in a world with no more dying? Maybe I've been trying, only trying just to say. Did you know that you were playing with the sharp edge of a knife? And we can waste ourselves in waiting for eternal life.
Check, check, 1, 2.
If I'm honest, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wandering the ruins, looking for a place to start. If I'm honest, I don't know who I am. All I see is a man who's waiting for a wake-up call. So won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me, sing it to me. Open up my mind, that cannot find a melody, and sing it to me, sing it to me. Keep singing. Oh, 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 If I'm honest, I wish I was better at everything I have ever tried and failed to be. I wear every letdown, I show every scar, and I found that hope can only carry you so far. So won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me, and sing it to me. Open up my mind, that cannot find a melody, and sing it to me, and sing it to me. I keep singing. Oh, 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 I'm all out of strength, I'm all out of luck, and what's in my hands never is enough. Will you remind me of the song I've forgotten? Oh, 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 oh. So won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me, sing it to me. Open up my mind, that cannot find a melody, and sing it to me, yeah, sing it to me. No, keep singing. Oh, keep singing. Oh, keep singing. Oh, keep singing. Oh, keep singing, 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 keep singing.
Take me over to the north side so I can find my way. Lord knows I've walked the south streets, I've wasted hearts and days. So take it all, take everything from me and bring it on. Take me down to shining waters, towns of grit and pride. Let me check my own soul, I've nowhere left to hide. Then take it all, take everything from me and bring it on. It's because I am just a wandering man.
Testing 1, 2.
Need you now to take my legs. Which one else I'll ramble on until I wreck the song. Take it all to set me free, I beg.
Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing, testing. Mike, is that about right?
Take me to a hilltop
Good.
castle,
For sure.
to a room all draped in white. Give me some familiar faces so I know I'll be alright.
If the cattle are into the staging area here, we are about to begin this year's show. As soon as our marshals are ready, have the cattle enter the ring and we'll begin the show. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2025 edition of the Saskatoon Prairieland Exhibition Junior Ag Showcase Steer Show. My name's Dwayne Trask, and I'll have the pleasure of making the announcements for this morning's show. Don't know what edition of the Junior Classic we're on, but it's certainly, we've got some longtime volunteers, and I'm joined up here in the announcers area this morning by Val Petrie of Tessier. Val's a long-time standby, and very pleased to have Val with us here today. Judging today's show, an old friend of mine, many years gone by, Wade Beck. And Wade Beck is joined by his daughter Georgia today to judge our steers. Wade Beck owns and operates Beck Farms with his family near Milestone, Saskatchewan. Beck Farms consists of a purebred Charolais cow herd, commercial cow herd, and grain farming operation. They host a bull sale specializing in 2-year-old bulls at the farm in February every year. Wade has judged Charolais shows all across Canada and Mexico, including the Canadian National Charolais Show and the Mexican National Charolais Show. He's judged the Beef Supreme competitions at both Canadian Western Agribition and the Edmonton Farm Fair. Beck Farms is proud to have bred and exhibited 2 top 10 finalists in the prestigious CN Beef Supreme at Canadian Western Agribition in both 2022 and 2024, and the Canadian National Champion Charolais Female in 2023. Wade's wife Cynthia is a clinical psychologist and works in rural mental health. Wade and Cynthia have 2 children, Mason, who is a nutritional consultant with Bullseye Feeds, and Georgia, who is with us today, and she'll be assisting Wade with judging the steers on today. Georgia is studying animal science at the College of Agriculture at the U of S. She's participated in the Casper College Summer Judging School in Wyoming and has been part of the provincial 4-H judging team as they competed at Canadian Western Agribition. Wayne and Georgia are honored to be asked to judge the Saskatoon 4-H Regional Show, and we're very pleased to have them with us here today. As every year, our show functions and is successful because of the participation of our sponsors. And through the course of this show, I will be naming all of them at a certain point and try to recognize our volunteers. Our show is always very critical on the amount of volunteers we have available, and we're so pleased to have so many people with long-term associations here helping us. and with their volunteer efforts, we really appreciate those folks to have them with us here as well. Enjoy the show. We should have a snappy show. 61 steers to parade before us here today. Tonight, beginning at 6 p.m., I believe, Val, is we'll have a little bite to eat, and we'll be rolling into our 2025 steer sale. I certainly invite you, if you're interested at all in grabbing a beef for the freezer, or to whatever level you would like to compete, we invite you to speak to the folks at the show office there. We're always looking for more sponsors and people to buy the steers at the end of these projects. If you're curious at all, stop by the show office below us around the corner, and we'll fix you up with the details or how that operates, and we would really appreciate your participation.
Take it all, take everything from me, then bring it on. It's because I am just a wandering man that I need you now to take my legs, or else I'll ramble on until I wreck the song. I'll take it all to set me free, I beg. To a state of mind where kings are pouring paupers ranch. Take away my trembling fingers, I'll take away that faithful itch. It's because I am just a wandering man that I need you now to take my legs, or else I'll ramble on until I wreck the song. Take it all to set me free, I beg. Take it all to set me free, I beg. Take it all to set me free, I beg. Yeah.
Our first split of steers is placed. Turn the mic over to our judges for their comments.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks again for having us out here today. I brought along my daughter with me this morning for an extra set of eyes, and you know, this first class of steers is really an interesting class, and all these steers are at a weight where I don't think they're at their end point. So we kind of went a little bit on potential and what we see going forward in these steers. So we start the class with these two steers at the front, and they're in no particular order, the silver steer and the red steer. Both steers, we really like the muscle shape they have in them. They're carrying adequate capacity. They're not quite finished in our opinion yet, but they're steers that as they go on and as they put on weight, they're going to hang nice carcasses and carcasses that are acceptable within our weight range, and they appear to be good feeding steers as well. So, I mean, we really think these two kind of separated themselves to the top. Our problem steer is the third place steer. And many people here probably had this third place steer winning this class easily, and I can't argue with you. My problem with him is he's just about at his end point, and he's probably going to hang the smallest carcass of all the steers out here. So that's kind of why we did it today. Granted, he's the deepest, he's the thickest, he's the most attractive steer out here. A steer we just like to see a little bit better on the move and just a little bit bigger frame to compete with the two steers above him. We get into two speckled park steers next. Two steers that you really got to admire their type. Two steers that are kind of easy feeding steers. Two steers that need a little bit more time, but I really believe that two steers are going to hang nice carcasses and become good eating steers in the end. We get down to three black steers down at the bottom. Steers that definitely need some more time on feed. I'd just like to see a little bit more muscle expression in them to compete with the steers above them, but really eye-appealing steers, and steers that, you know, these members should be proud of, and as time goes on and they get more finish to them, are going to hang good carcasses and be good at eating steers as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Wade. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. Nice round of applause for our first class leaving the ring. Our first two placing animals, of course, they are not placed. They are both first at this point in the show. Entry number 50, Ava Gazakowski of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. And entry number 28, Shelby Peacock of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Third place to entry 4, Erica Zorb of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place, 37, Toby Hubbard of the Old Bones 4-H Club. Fifth place, entry 38, Chloe Hubbard of the Old Bones 4-H Club. Sixth place to 54, Brooklyn Aarons of the Viscount 4-H Club. Seventh place to Emma Aarons, entry 61. And eighth place to entry number 60, Gavin Aarons of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. I do want to go through the list of sponsors. As I said before, we want to make sure we always show our appreciation. A number of long-term sponsors here with us again this year, including Affinity Credit Union, Farm Credit Canada, Farming for Tomorrow, Market Tire, the Ministry of Agriculture, Norheim Ranching, Old Dutch, Q-Line Trucking, RBC, Ritchie Brothers Saskatoon Co-op, the Saskatoon Landscape and Garden Centre, Sask Milk, and the United Farmers of Alberta, UFA. Once again, really like to reiterate our appreciation to those sponsors, and most of those ones I just named have been with us for some time. I'd also like to acknowledge the Junior Showcase Committee, including Trevor Borgaraj, Stephanie Zevolt, Corrine Nyhouse, Travis Libke, Val Petrie, Lisa Haynes, Mike Kersinger, and BJ Wolf. With us here today and kind of supervising the show is our agricultural manager, Leanne Hurlbert, our agriculture administrators, Leah Libke and Rebecca Mitchell, our Ag Center staff, Lyle LaRocque and Larissa Olson, our Saskatoon Prairieland Park CEO, Dan Kempinen, Saskatoon Prairieland Park Board of Directors Chair, Evan Drissner. Thank you to all the Junior Ag Showcase volunteers for your time and commitment to the show.
went out walking and he hitched for a ride. He came across a pretty girl who took him inside. Johnny asked the pretty girl if he could take her hand. She became his wife and they bought a piece of land. Well, they raised up a family and they raised up the wood. They built their first cottage and it held like it should. Johnny told the pretty girl, darling, I love you so. She looked back at Johnny and said, Johnny boy, I know. And we all shine a light, little darling. We all want someone. We're all afraid of tomorrow just a little. We all dance circles around the sun till it's done. And you're the one. Johnny went out one day with a shotgun by his side. His family, they didn't trust him to keep him all alive. He stumbled upon a
Our Junior Ag Classic here at Prairieland has enjoyed the support of the good folks at RBC for many, many years. And I've just been brought to my attention, we've been joined by Amanda Skiffin and Rebecca Cola of the RBC, and they brought along donuts. They're currently on the table below me. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our appreciation to the folks at RBC. Nice round of applause. Really appreciate once again this year to have the good folks at RBC join us in sponsoring our Junior Ag Classic. And welcome to Amanda and Rebecca.
black bear knocked down his gun. Johnny couldn't reach it, so he fixed up to run. The bear caught up to Johnny, knocked him to the ground. Johnny thought of his little girl and he beat that bear down. Well, the moral of the story, if there's a woman by his side, there's nothing that a man won't do just to stay alive, stay alive. And we all shine a light, little darling. We all want someone. We're all afraid of tomorrow just a little. We all dance circles around the sun. And we all shine a light, little darling. We all want someone. We're all afraid of tomorrow just a little. And we all dance circles around the sun till it's done. And you're the one.
Our second class has been placed. The mic over to Georgia for her remarks.
Another strong steer class we have here today. The two black steers that lead out the class just come to the top quite handily. Steers that are approaching finish, we'd still like to see them with a bit more feed in the future, but steers that are really strong, deep made, big carcasses, just steers we admire and steers that we like to breed. The red steer that falls into third is a steer you really have to admire for how much depth he has, his muscle pattern, and just how wide his loin is. A steer that maybe just isn't at the capacity that the steers above him have, but a really strong steer that the young man should be proud of. The black steer that comes into fourth is another long-bodied, high-muscle steer. You really have to appreciate how long he is and just how big his shoulder is. A steer that I maybe just like to see a little bit bigger of a loin on, maybe just like to open up his chest floor a little bit, but a really strong steer. The baldy steer that comes next, a steer that the young man's doing a great job showing, a long-bodied, nice-made steer who's really thick from behind. You really have to admire just how much muscle he has him and how deep he is. A steer that maybe just doesn't have the capacity that the steers above him have, but a really strong steer. The red steer that comes into the next is just full of muscle, a steer that you really have to admire for how long he is, how clean front he is, and how deep he goes into that brisket. A steer we maybe just like to see a little bit more finish on today and just see his loin just get a little bit deeper to compete with the steers above him. The steer that rounds out the class is a really long-made, attractive steer. You really have to admire how much muscle he has and how much depth the body he has. A steer, again, we just like to see more capacity, just more finish on him to compete with the steers above him. But the young man's doing a great job with him. Thank you.
Thanks, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's have a nice round of applause for our exhibitors. The first two animals unplaced, once again, they're both tied for first. Entry number 30, Carson Pochopinski of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. And Carson is joined by entry 29, Tate Wheeler of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Third place goes to 33, Clint Bergerman of the Carleton Trail 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place to 43, Peyton Leffler of the Viscount 4-H Club. Fifth place to 53, Wyatt Jackson of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Sixth place to 46, Cohen Tetzlaff of the Viscount 4-H Club. And seventh place to 35, Trace Stiles of the Carleton Trail 4-H Beef Club. A couple other folks that I'd like to introduce you to. Our photographer for the show is Chandra Archdeacon of C2 Photography. Chandra has a passion for photography and 4-H shows. Check out her Facebook page or talk to her after the show to get info on how to order your photos. Her business cards are also available at the show office. Thank you very much, Chandra. Appreciate your involvement in this year's show. Longtime supporter of the Saskatoon Junior Showcase, Saskatoon Livestock Sales. Long time sponsor here. El Bolianitz Trucking here in Saskatoon. El Bolianitz is providing the transportation. Animals shuttled to wherever they're heading after our sale tonight. And, of course, Norheim Ranching, big livestock display outside here as well. Lee Norheim, not only a product of the 4-H program and longtime member of the Saskatoon Club, very active in the agricultural industry in the Saskatoon area. Always pleased to have Lee and the gang at Norheim Ranching with us. Corporate sponsors include Sask Milk, Market Tire, ever since the very start. Market Tire has been here working with us. Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers, always a longtime supporter of the Junior Showcase here. Our folks at RBC, once again, mentioned them a bit ago. Saskatoon Landscape Store and Garden Center. And, of course, they're at their new location at 7 Glacier Road. Used to be up by Costco and now down in the Greenbrier area. Brett Young Seeds. Brett Young Seeds has been along for a lawful long time, and wanted to include a mention of them as well, and I'll get back to you in a bit with some more sponsor mentions. This steers show is once again complete. Wade Beck, our judge, with his comments.
Well, as we get up and weight in these steers, we get a little more condition on these steers, and we're getting a little bit closer to our end date, so you kind of take that into play when you evaluate these steers. But we start the class with three very good steers. I mean, you could flip. I believe you could flip these three any which way based on your personal preference, and you wouldn't be too far wrong. We went with the two steers standing profiling, just based on they have a little more muscle shape to them than the third place steer, but three steers that really follow each other in type. They're really eye-appealing steers. You like them, the tops they have in them. They look like they could be easy feeding steers, and they're really close to their end date, all three of them. We get down into this black steer in fourth, steer that kind of follows the first three steers as a profile and type. Where he gives up is we just like to see more finish on this steer to compete any higher today, but a really eye-appealing steer, and a steer that really catches your eye when he comes in the ring, and the young lady should be proud of him. We get down into four bigger frame steers at the end. Steers that, you got to admire the performance in them. You got to admire the length of body, the frame they have in them, but they're steers that probably, need conservatively 300 to 400 more pounds on them to reach their end point, and so that's kind of why they stand here today. If we were judging this class couple months from now, these four steers might have been at the other end of the line, but this is how we see them here today.
Thanks, Wade. Let's have a nice round of applause for our exhibitors on their way out of the ring. The first two entries that lead off tied for first are entry 42, Isaac Tetzlaff, Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Isaac's joined by Charlize Garreau of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Those two will be returning for our championship division. Third place in class goes to entry number 8, Ryland Elliott of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place, 32, Claire Bergerman of the Carlton Trail 4-H Beef Club. In fifth place, 13, Adeline Zidkovich. Sixth place to entry 49. Adeline is from the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Sixth place to entry 49, Wyatt Tetzlaff of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Seventh place, 24. Emmett Deere of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club, and 8th place to entry number 31, Oliver Deere of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. We'll now move into our lightweight division champions. Our lightweight division champion awards are sponsored this year by Pound Maker Ag Ventures Limited. We've been very, very pleased for quite a number of years to have the good folks at Pound Maker sponsoring our weight division classes, and we have them this year once again in our lightweight divisions. Now, the first two placed animals that were tied for first in our previous three classes coming back into the ring before you, and we will name this year's lightweight division champion. George's comments on our lightweight division class.
A really strong championship lightweight class we have here. A class you really just have to admire the practical real-world steers we have. Steers that are really strong, deep-made, strong steers that the exhibitors should be proud of, as well as the exhibitors that are in the barn that exhibited steers today. It takes a lot of work and everyone really did a good job. With that, we're going to go, our champion lightweights will be the two last here in our heaviest class. Thank you.
Sorry about being a little pokey with the announcement, but our lightweight division champions entry 42, Isaac Tetzlaff of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. And a reserve, Charlene Garreau of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club.
I think they're unplaced.
Pardon me, they are unplaced yet. They're both first place. They'll return for our championship class. Congratulations to our winners.
We're going to pause and do pictures.
Are they?
Yes. And so if you could ask if there's anybody here from Poundmaker to go over to the...
If there's any representatives from the Poundmaker Ag Ventures group, you're certainly welcome to go over. We're going to grab a very quick picture here before we move on with our show. Anyone from Poundmaker, please come forward if you wish and be included in the photograph. Just a very brief couple minutes here as we grab some pictures. Give your legs a stretch, grab a refreshment. We will be back rolling here very, very shortly. One guy I haven't mentioned so much yet in my volunteers, Keegan Blem. Very pleased to have Keegan with us again as well. Doing the juggling act here with our sound system. Thank you very much, Keegan. Always does a great job.
You set my never made it there, 'cause she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. We caught the red eye to Dubai. She was blowing through my dough like it's going out of style. In general, I was a sensible guy, but that guy died when she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. Go. Well, I lost my job and all of my money, most of my friends and half of my mind. So messed up, it's a little funny. And I thought for sure that she was mine. But now I'm alone, just trying to get right, picking up the pieces of my busted life. If she walked into this room tonight, I'd say, baby, won't you come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. I wanna hate her, but I love her instead.
Our first class in the medium weight division is complete. Once again, our judge Wade with his comments.
Well, another really good class of market steers here, and you know, there's things we like about every steer in this class, and there's things we'd like to change about every steer in this class, and that's the benefit of a cattle show, and we get to judge. So this is how we see them here today, and we start the class with the two steers that, in our opinion, are the easiest feeding steers of the two. Steers that got some shape to them, steers that got some middle in them, steers that look like they can really convert and look like as they go forward they're going to hang nice carcasses. We get down into these next four steers that, I really think you could flip these four either which way and not be too far wrong. There's steers that have lots of eye appeal to them. Steers that, we get down into some of them, we just like to see a little more muscle expression, a little more shape in them, and definitely we'd like to see a little more finish on all of them to compete any higher today, but a really good set of market steers.
Thanks very much, Wade. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our appreciation to our exhibitors with a nice round of applause. The two animals from this class that will return for the championship division include 45 James Ola of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club and entry number 41 Riker Leffler of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Third place in class goes to 56 Weston Stadnick, Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place to entry 18 Celeste Garreau of the Monarch Multiple Club. Fifth place 59 Denley Leffler of the Viscount 4-H Club. And sixth place 52 Finley Jackson of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. As we await our next class in the ring, I want to mention the Prairieland Youth Leadership Conference going on this weekend as well. Entrants into the Youth Leadership Program are from all areas of the province. They participated and competed in the following areas. 4-H and community involvement application, an outright questionnaire, workshop on time management and goal setting, leadership skills, group interactions, and speaker presentation. The top 5 were awarded scholarships for post-secondary education. We're very pleased to announce the 2025 scholarship winners, a $4,500 scholarship to Hannah Hogan of the Hillmond 4-H Club, $3,000 scholarship to Harper Doig, Next Step 4-H Beef Club, $2,500 scholarship to Elva Biber of the Next Step 4-H Club, a $1,000 scholarship to Keaton Ozicki of the Eagle Hills Multiple 4-H Club, and a $1,000 scholarship to Maya Biber of the Candiac 4-H Beef Club. Another sponsor I wanted to make sure I gave announcement for, our Farm Credit Canada. And their Farm Credit is always very proud to support young farmers. As the only lender 100% invested in Canadian agriculture and food, FCC is dedicated to the industry that feeds the world, providing flexible financing, ag expert business management, software, information, and knowledge. We're so very pleased to have the good folks at Farm Credit Canada along as one of our major sponsors once again this year.
guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Never gonna come down from above, 'cause everything looks better from above. And nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world.
Class in the ring has been sorted, and our judge with remarks.
Another strong set of steers as we get into the middleweight division. The two steers we have selected to come out into the championship are steers that you really have to appreciate how much muscle definition they have, how long-bodied, and just complete steers that they are. Steers that we would just think are real-world practical steers, and we think a lot of, and the exhibitors should be proud of. The third steer we have here was a little bit of a problem steer, a steer you have to admire his eye appeal, just how smooth made he is, the amount of depth he has, a steer that maybe just doesn't have as much muscle, and just the finish that the steers above him have, but a really strong steer. As we get down into this black steer, the young man's doing a great job of showing him a long-bodied steer with lots of muscle and capacity, a steer we'd maybe just like to see with a little bit more finish to compete with the ones above him, but a really strong steer. As we move into this red steer, you really have to admire how sound and smooth made he is. A steer that you really just like to see him, maybe just with a little bit more muscle for us today, but a strong steer the young man should be proud of. As we get into the Hereford's a steer with lots of finish and capacity. We'd maybe just like to see a little bit more hind quarter on this steer today, but the young lady's doing a great job with him. The white steer that rounds out the class is a steer you really have to admire for just his body definition and just how big body structure he is. A steer we just like to see with a little bit more capacity and just filled out a little bit more to compete with the steers above him today. Thank you.
Thanks, Georgia. Nice round of applause once again. Out of this class, the two animals that will return for our championship ring, entry 55, Nikki Breckner of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Nikki will be joined by entry number 40, Chaz Dumansky of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Third place in class goes to entry 9, Jack Robin of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place to 48, Grayson Stadnick of the Viscount 4-H Club. Fifth place to 25, Evan Miles of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Sixth place to entry number 7, Alana Wood of the Crown Hill 4-H Club. And seventh place is entry 15, Jace McAvoy of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Sask Milk, proudly representing Saskatchewan dairy farmers, are with us here once again this year. Always enjoy the participation of the good folks at Sask Milk. Founded on the farm nearly 30 years ago, Q-Line Trucking is now the largest specialized trucking companies in Western Canada and provides transportation solutions for industry sector leaders across North America. With a payload capacity exceeding 180,000 pounds, a division dedicated to hauling bulk commodities, and a best-in-class fleet of trucks and trailers, Q-Line is equipped to move it all. Once again, the good folks in Q-Line Trucking, moving the industries that move the world, and we're so very pleased to have Q-Line with us again this year as a sponsor of our Junior Ag Showcase. Another name you're well acquainted with attending over the years, Market Tire is a locally owned business and has been around since 1953 and can provide and service all your tire needs from the smallest wheelbarrow to the largest agricultural tires. Along with premium brands of passenger and light truck tires, alloy rims, and winter wheels to meet all your vehicle requirements. Market Tire offers more than tires, offering full automotive services including oil changes, cooling system and transmission fluid changes, wiper blades, brakes, batteries, and more. 10 locations to serve you, 5 of them in Saskatoon and plus Rosthern, Rosetown, Nipawin, and Tisdale, and Melfort, and Prince Albert are your convenience choice. Market Tire is celebrating 70 years of offering fast and friendly automotive services across central Saskatchewan. Drop by one of their locations and talk to one of their service experts today. As well, very pleased, Market Tire with us again this year as one of our major sponsors at the Saskatoon Prairieland Exhibition Junior Showcase.
folks call home. And on to Carolina, place where I was born. Good morning, Music City. I've got a song for you. And God Almighty Lord paid my dues. Good God, I paid my dues from Mississippi on to Alabama, from Louisiana on to Texarkana. I'm getting a little too good, Lord, singing these old blues. Good God Almighty Lord paid my dues. Well, Motel 6 in Austin.
Once again, our class is complete. Judge Wade back with his remarks.
Well, as we get up in these weight breaks, we're definitely getting into more steers that are market ready, and you know, that's a good sign as we go forward. We start the class with two steers that, you know, really follow each other in type. They really, you know, as they come in, they really catch your eye. They're kind of two steers that kind of work their way to the top quite handily. They both appear to be easy feeding steers, steers that have some shape to them, steers that have, and being this is a show, steers that have some presence about them and some show ring presence to them, but two steers that we're really happy with to top this class. We get down into two black steers here in third and fourth, two steers again that are very similar in their type, two steers, you know, that appear to be really easy feeding steers. They got some middle to them, some dimension to them. Steers we just like to see a little bit more condition on them today to compete any higher, but two really good market steers. We get down into this black steer, really eye-appealing steer. He's a steer that catches your eye when you come in. He's a steer we just maybe like to soften him up a little bit, maybe just make him a little bit easier doing to compete any higher today, but a really attractive steer on the side. We get down into two steers that are good, two good, easy doing, feeding kind of steers. Steers we just maybe like to clean up a little bit in their front ends, maybe fix them a little bit structurally to compete any higher, but all in all, an exceptional set of market steers.
Thanks, Wade. Nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The two entries that will return for our championship class from this 22.3, entry number 19, Dallas McAvoy of the Monarch 4-H Club. Dallas will be joined by entry 44, Sawyer Ola of the Viscount 4-H Club. Third place, 58, Stetson Stasnik of the Viscount 4-H Club. Fourth place, 34, Emma Senko of the Carlton Trail 4-H Club. Fifth place to 26, Colton Barr of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Sixth place to Easton Guzikowski of the Viscount 4-H Club. And seventh place to entry 17, Dakota Toms of the Monarch Multiple Club. The next class in ring will be the previous two top placing entries, where we'll slap our medium weight division champion. I'd like to mention as well, once again, our weight division champion award sponsored by Poundmaker Ag Ventures.
It's really gone downhill. My not as bad as my backseat, where I stayed in Amarillo. Not much further to California, just a couple one-night stands, and I'm wrapped up in my bed.
So we're doing medium weight now?
We have a number of businesses plus a lot of producers have stepped forward to sponsor our Best of Beef showcase. I'd like to recognize some of those folks. Our team grooming was sponsored by Norheim Ranching, TCL Livestock, and New Life Feeds. Our showmanship class sponsored by Jan Bruce and family, CK Sparrow Farms, Maxie's Excavating, Eagle Creek Vet, Bigger and District Insurance Services, and Farming for Tomorrow. Our beef female class yesterday sponsored by Eagle Creek Vet, Dorothy Forrider, Haynes Angus, Hammond Realty, Corman Park Vet Services, Maxie's Excavating, Blind Creek Ranch, Libkey Ranch, Norheim Ranching, P-Cross Ranch, and Cowtown. Our finished beef class today sponsored by Saskatoon Livestock Sales, Brett Young Seeds, Poundmaker Ag Ventures, and Master Feeds. Thank you very much to all those organizations that stepped forward to provide the sponsorship and made the competition so much better for our members. Reminder from the show office passed along here. We have a number of members who are have not picked up their show money. Before you go anywhere today, make sure you stop by the show office. And if you're in position to collect some show money, might as well grab that before you head home. Our class in the ring, Wade Beck.
Well, a really an interesting class, interesting group of middleweight steers right from the first class all the way out here to the championship. And I think we need to give these young exhibitors a round of applause. There's steers out here we really like things about them. There's steers out things we'd like to change about them. And I talk lots about how there isn't a perfect one in this world, and we just kind of got to live and with gives and takes on how we evaluate these cattle. But we're going to go with the young man with the black steer, number 40, and the young lady with the silver steer here as our intermediate divisions.
Our medium weight division champion then, entry number 40, Chaz Domansky. Pardon me, this is not the champion. This is tied for the first place in this championship class. Chaz Domansky of the Viscount 4-H Club. And Chaz will be joined by entry number 19, Dallas McAvoy of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Nice round of applause. Congratulations, exhibitors. Very brief break while we're going to quickly grab pictures of our medium weight steers. Once again, shake a leg, grab a drink. We'll be right back to the show, just a couple short minutes. We a little late there? Is that better, Kurt?
place to walk up, say hey, ask how I've been at some party. It ain't your place to ask my friends when you see them out if I'm seeing somebody. You don't get to call me up 'cause you're drunk. 2 a.m. say you miss us. No, you don't get to care when I'm waking up these days. It ain't your place. It ain't your place.
City, why do you get me down? Indigo City, kicking me to the ground. Now down in the cellar, lots of noise. Yeah, down in the cellar, lots of noise. Well, they keep on dancing, all the good girls and boys. And I can't stop to turn it off. No, I can't stop to turn it off. No, whisper something to you short and soft. So Indigo City, why do you get me down? Indigo City, kicking me to the ground. Indigo City, why do you get me down? Indigo City, kicking me to the ground. The best thing and the worst thing happened today. She moved on with another guy and got engaged. And now my heart set free from its cage, but it stings like hell on the way out. The best thing and the worst thing happened today. I'm moving on. Driving 99 down the 405, windows down and blaring third eye blind, because I've never been so alone, and I've never been best thing and the worst thing happened today. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving Well, I heard it through the wire that the world's gonna catch on fire. The stakes couldn't get any higher, and we're finally growing tired. They will come in the night with the moon overhead shining bright. Riders on their fatal line, throwing shadows in the night. Way up high in that Minnesota sky, that's where you'll see it by and by. They say it's coming any day, and we're all gone the other way. Gonna live as long as I'm alive. So goodbye, all you cowboys. We rode it down to the end. It's a long, hard road that we've been, and we won't be back again. And the time will come and choose, and there's no way you can lose. You'll learn that it really ain't no use. Stuck in limbo, the revelation blues. Way up high in that Minnesota sky, that's where you'll see it by and by. They say it's coming any day, and we're all gone the other way. Gonna live as long as I'm alive. Way up high in that Minnesota sky, that's where you'll see it by and by. They say it's coming any day, and we're all gone the other way. Gonna live as long as I'm alive. Way up high in that Minnesota sky, that's where you'll see it by and by. They say it's coming any day, and we're all gone the other way. Gonna live as long as I'm alive. I said I'm gonna live as long as I'm alive.
Sunday morning with my head on your chest, wearing your shirt like my party dress. Something about the way you're holding me tight lets me know everything's alright. We don't have anywhere to be. Right here we got all we need. Lock the door and try the blinds. Let's just stay
Once again, class in the ring is complete, and our Judge Georgia with her remarks.
Another really strong set of steers in the ring here today. The top 3 steers were kind of just picking hairs between steers that are deep made, lots of muscle, lots of finish on them, steers that we all admire for each of their qualities, and we'd like to change certain things about them, and we like certain things about them as well. The steer that's here in third, really just picking hairs, and it really just came down to preference for us today. A steer we just like to see with a little bit more dimension to compete with the steers in front of him, but a really strong steer that the young lady should be proud of. As we get into the red steer in fourth, a really real-world steer, you have to appreciate how much raw muscle definition he has and just how long-bodied it is. We'd maybe like to smooth him up and give him a little bit more eye appeal, but a really strong steer in this class. The black steer that comes next is a steer that you could place higher today, but really just depends on your preference. A steer we just like to smooth him up. When you get your hands on him, we just like to feel a little bit more there today, and he just doesn't have the muscle and finish that the steers above him have, but a really strong steer that the young man should be proud of. As we get into this black steer that rounds out this class, a long-bodied, big-made steer with lots of muscle definition. He maybe just doesn't have the finish and capacity that the steers above him have today, but a really strong steer to round out this class. Thank you.
Thanks, Georgia. Let's give them a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The 2 entries returning for our championship division will be entry 23, Mackenzie Wright of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Mackenzie, and entry number 14, Ella Ray Malinowski of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Third place to entry 11, Hayden Wagwitz of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Fourth place to entry 20, Charlie Wolf of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Fifth place to entry 5, Zane Letkeman of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. And entry number 47 was 6, Lucas Tetzlav of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club.
The two of us will hear no rain.
walked up to a mountain, followed a bird up there, 'cause I found me a woman who treated me unfair. And I woke to the sunrise, remembered an awful dream of lightning and thunder, and hearing someone scream. Trouble finds you and worry, it sticks around until you're dead. Once you found a little darling, and she takes over your head.
Our second split of heavyweight steers is complete. Once again, our judge with his comments.
Well, a really good class of steers, right from one end to the other, and you know, we started the class with 2 steers that in our mind just come to the top based on their easy doingness, their finish they're carrying, the muscle expression they have, and they're just easy feeding steers that just real world steers that kind of come to the top quite handily. We get into this black steer in third, steer that really profiles nice from the side. He's a steer that's adequately finished. We just maybe like to see a little more muscle expression for him to place any higher today, but a really nice market steer. The silver steer we got in fourth, he's a steer when he come into the ring, really caught our eye on the move, and when he gets standing, he just tendencies to lose his top a little bit. I'd just like to see a little more loin in that steer to compete any higher, but a really nice, fancy market steer. We get down into 2 bigger framed steers. We just maybe like to see a little bit more finish on them to compete any higher today, but big frame steers with lots of performance and lots of eye appeal that are going to cash these girls a nice check in the end. Thanks.
Thanks, Wade. Nice round of applause. The 2 entries that will be returning for our championship division, Cabri Letkeman of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club, and she'll be joined by 21 Cole Weeks of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Third place in class to 16, Reed Wolf of the Monarch Multiple Beef Club. Fourth place to entry 3, Bowden Letkeman of the Crown Hill 4-H Club. Fifth place to 6, June Robin of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. And sixth place to 36, Hudson Cinco of the Carlton Trail 4-H Beef Club. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a black Chevy Dually with a license 292 NJY, maybe go out and wave at the tow truck driver when he leaves, because it's going to be going right away. It's parked in the fire lane here, and it cannot remain. Thanks very much. 292 NJY black Chevy Dually. Please move.
When it was blowing, I had to find me a hole for to climb in and live forevermore. And I heard voices calling in my delirious state, saying something out in Spanish. That's when I went insane. Trouble finds you and worry, it sticks around until you're dead. Once you found a little darling, and she takes over your head. I came back down from that mountain, I had to get me a job, working behind the counter, selling gas and soda pop. was bothered, because those thoughts never end. Now they just send me back up onto that mountain again. Trouble finds you and worry, it sticks around till you're dead. Once you found a little darling, and she takes over your head. Trouble binds you and worry, it sticks around until you're dead. Once you found a little darling, and she takes over your head.
something we'd both show? Was it something we could know? find? Did you ever really think? Did you ever really try to give me all of you to know? Or did you just let go? Or do you want
Admire every steer just from top to bottom, and you could place them any which way today, but this is just how we saw them today. The steers that come out of this class are finished steers. You have to admire how much length of body, how much depth they have, and just how much finish they carry. Two really complete, strong steers that we think quite highly of, and the members should be proud of to exhibit. The steer that comes in third is just a really real-world steer, packed full of lots of muscle and red meat, and you really can't fault him for that. Just a steer that maybe just doesn't have the finish and loin capacity that the steers above him have, but a really strong steer that this young man should be proud of. The black steer that comes into fourth is a steer that when he walks in the ring, he kind of strikes you. A steer with lots of eye appeal. You really have to admire just how nice he is and just how he looks. But as we start analyzing him, a steer that just gets a little bit short in his hip, we'd maybe just like to see him go down a little bit more in his twist. And once you get your hands on him, just doesn't have the loin and depth of body that the steers above him have, but a really strong, nice steer that could go any different way with a different judge. The silver steer that comes in next, the young lady's doing a great job of showing him a big-bodied, long steer with lots of muscle and lots of definition. A steer you maybe just like to see a little bit more finish on and maybe just like to smoothen out, but a really strong steer. The steer that rounds out our class is a big-made steer that you really have to admire for how much muscle he has and how much definition he has and just how big his carcass will be. A steer you just maybe like to smoothen out and just see a little bit more finish and loin to compete with the steers above us today, but a really strong set of class. Thank you.
Thanks, Georgia. Nice round of applause. Great group of steers there. The two steers that will return for our championship class, entry 39, Calder Jones of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club, as well as entry number 2, Heidi Zorb of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Third place in class 27, Gavin Wright of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Fourth in class 22, Tyrell Bueller of the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Fifth place to entry 10, Addison Elliott of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. And sixth place entry 51, Kylie Worm of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Our next class in the ring will be our two steers from each of the three previous classes will return for our heavyweight division. I want to make sure I announce Poundmaker Ag Ventures once again, our heavyweight division champion awards, and we appreciate the good folks at Poundmaker Ag Ventures stepping forward as our sponsors.
Tell me now, baby, would you come my way if I was a better man? If I could change, I would. But I find I'm at a loss for words, and even when they come, it hurts. What do you want from me? Honey, I can't even breathe. Tell me if I found what you can't see, would you come back to me? Tell me, babe, is this real? Or do I want what you don't feel? If you think that you don't know, and try to let me go, go. Tell me, babe, is this real? Or do I want what you don't feel? If you think that you don't know, and try to let me go, go.
Well, I think we need to give these young members a round of applause in this heavyweight division. I really think that when we get into these junior shows and these 4-H shows, we don't talk enough about pay weight. We talk a lot about pretty and eye appeal, and we don't talk enough about pay weight. And these steers out here, they're the pay weight steers, and it's pay weight that pays the bills in the end. So, I mean, that's something that we really deem to be important as we're sorting steers. I mean, steers, especially today's market, when these steers are $3 a pound live or $5 hanging a carcass, the more pounds you have, that's a lot of money that adds up really fast. So we really think it's important, and we're really impressed with every one of these steers out here that we have. And Georgia just said to me before I took the mic, it's too bad we couldn't bring them all back for the championship, but our job here is to pick 2, and we're going to go with the tan steer in the middle and the black steer at the end as our heavyweight champions.
Sorry about the delay here. Cabri Letkeman of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club and Heidi Zorb of the Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Once again, let's give them another nice round of applause. I apologize. It's entry 39, Calder Jones, Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Let's give Calder a round of applause.
wake up in the morning in this great blue state. Golden fingers caress my face.
Ladies and gentlemen, our class coming in the ring will be our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Steer class. Our Grand Champion Steer will be competing for the annual trophy, or will be awarded the annual trophy provided in memory of Russ Gordon of Birch Hills. The Grand Champion Steer will receive a Keeper Buckle Award presented by Saskatoon Livestock Sales, longtime supporters of Prairieland Junior Classic. Our Reserve Grand Champion 4-H Steer will receive the award sponsored by Brett Young Seeds. Brett Young Seeds, always at Prairieland. Appreciate their involvement. Banner awards for the Grand Champion Steer and the Reserve Grand Champion Steer will be presented by Master Feeds. Very pleased today to have Curtis Reed with us, longtime 4-H member, currently representing Master Feeds, and very pleased to have Master Feeds and Curtis along today to make that presentation. Good luck, exhibitors.
Slips through the window on a silky breeze, a dreamer's land to plant some seeds. She's my believer, healing all my doubts, a lighted mirror reflecting out every true potential, a bedrock belief, an elaborate plot to set this bird free. Every element faced, every color that's attached, she paints pictures blue and green, and I release them to the sea for the ancient memories, just as fleeting as a breeze. She paints pictures blue and green, and I release them to the sea. Sunset, white cotton June, her body sings, and I join the tune. All the sirens calling, the crows leave their trees, but a peace pervades us, and the dreamers dream from every element of face, every color that's attached. She paints pictures blue and green, and I release them to the sea for the ancient memories, just as fleeting as a breeze. She paints pictures blue and green, and I release them to the sea.
For all members here, just an announcement here to if you're in the Pen of 5 competition, it will begin immediately following the class in the ring. We won't be breaking for pictures. We'll move right into our Pen of 5 steers. So if you want to begin preparations for that, we can continue our show on directly after this class. With his comments on our championship class, once again, our judge, Wade Beck.
Well, George and I are pretty proud of this set of steers we have out here, and it's been a really interesting steer show all day, right from the first class of the morning all the way through to this championship drive. And And we need to give these young exhibitors a round of applause for the work they put into this. This is probably the last time I'm going to talk on the mic. George is going to talk about the group class. So I'd just like to thank the organizing committee again for having us out here the last couple days to sort through these cattle. I'd like to thank my ringmen both yesterday and today. They've done a nice job of keeping the kids in line. The marshallers have been really good. Everything's flowing really well. I mean, everything's just, I can't give enough credit to the volunteers and I think we need to give the volunteers a round of applause for the job they put into. George is going to go out and select our champion and our reserve champion steer. And yes, winning these junior shows is important, and it puts a little competition in the juniors. But the main reason why we do these junior shows and these 4-H shows is to develop the next generation. And it's way more important to talk about, the different kids and how this kid helped out this kid. And as we come out of these junior shows, there's more talk about the kids and the good kids than there is about the good cattle. And I think that's really important because we don't do this for a win. I mean, my kids have won a regional show, really it doesn't mean much. In the end, it's a banner and a buckle. It means more about how people talk about your kids and how how your kids move forward in this industry, because that's really why we do this. And I think that's something we really need to not lose sight of. I'd like to wish all the members well in the sale this afternoon. There's lots of important things at 4-H, and I know people don't like it, but the sale is really important. We need to give these kids a little bit of a pat on the back for the work they go in. And if you know of a small business or have a small business like a real estate company or something, it probably wouldn't hurt to support these kids. And it's definitely worth a premium to support these kids. And we've started our own operation buying steers from customers of ours, and it's amazing the response we get from the kids and the families and how they appreciate even us being at the sale supporting. We don't even have to buy, but it's something, I think it's too many people forget about supporting these kids in the sale, and the sale is it's very important in my eyes as well. So with that, George is going to go and select a champion in reserve. We've had a great time the last 2 days, and thanks again.
Our grand champion steer, entry 39, Calder Jones of the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. And Cabri Letkeman, our reserve grand champion steer, entry number 1, Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. Congratulations, our grand and reserve grand champion steers of the 2025 Prairieland Junior Ag Classic. Now, there's been a slight correction. They are going to grab pictures of our champions very quickly, and we will write it into our pen classes. So, once again, very, very brief break to grab the pictures. Just a note, entry 39, Calder Jones, back-to-back grand champion steers. Congratulations, Calder. Very, very brief photo break here. Our annual trophy, once again, provided in memory of Russ Gordon, Birch Hill, Saskatchewan. Thanks so much to Saskatoon Livestock Sales. They're providing the Keeper Buckle Award. And Curtis Reed, the banners for both the Grand and Reserve Champion. Our Reserve Grand Champion steer will also receive the award sponsored by Brett Young Seeds. Thanks so much to those sponsors.
Got a million emails that I haven't read. Got a brake pad squeaking that I gotta check, but I don't mind it. Cause I got her riding on that shotgun side. With that take me to the sunrise, look inside her eyes. Now we're flying. Yeah, we're flying. We got 10 miles of open road. That's in the radio. We got both windows down and no one around. Don't have to take it slow. We're good to go. There's some baggage sitting in the trunk I see. In the rear view mirror looking back at me. No, I don't hide.
Our show is about to resume. Our group of 5 steers will be next into the ring.
Don't get me wrong, I ain't saying that she ain't drop dead, but boy, she knows it when she turns them heads. Got a good girl dress that you love when she slaps on, but your floor ain't the only one it's been on. Brother, I ain't trying to start no fight, ain't what you wanna hear on a Friday night. I know she's got you in a love-drunk whirlwind, from man to man, nobody likes your girlfriend. Your church and dude, she's the worst when she gets a little know-it-all buzz. She hates your favorite bands and she don't miss a chance to cut you down in front of us. Yeah, I know that you say she's the best you ever had. Maybe that's why your head's in the sand. Cause we know she ain't single, but damn, she looks single if you're looking at her Instagram. I ain't saying that she ain't dropped dead, but boy, she knows it when she turns them heads. Got a good girl dress that you love when she slaps on, but your floor ain't the only one it's been on. Brother, I ain't trying to start no fight, ain't what you wanna hear on a Friday night. I know she's got you in a love-drunk whirlwind, from man to man, nobody likes your girlfriend. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your sister. Everyone that loves you hates seeing you with her. Didn't wanna be the one to let you know that I'm just saving you a heartbreak down the road. I ain't saying that she ain't drop dead, but boy, she knows it when she turns them heads. Got a good girl dress that you love when she slips on, but your floor ain't the only one it's been on. Brother, I ain't trying to start no fight, ain't what you wanna hear on a Friday night. I know she's got you in
country music institution without its name on a lower Broadway bar.
Direct from Nashville, this is The Highway, country's next generation.
Got the sun setting down on the grass in the yard. Got my head on your shoulder and my hand on your heart. Watching barefoot babies, laughing and picking daisies, catching fireflies in a jar. This is as good as it gets. I don't know what it would change. I love this life that we live. I love that smile on your face. No, we ain't gotta look back at all those pictures and frames and wish it all stayed the same. 'Cause right here, right now, I say these are the glory days.
Once again, I'd like to remind everyone in the audience that these steers will be for sale tonight. That sale should be underway by 6:30. I certainly invite you, if you have any notion at all of providing some sponsorship or putting a beef in the deep freeze, or would like to step up as a sponsor, there are spots available yet. I certainly invite you to stop by the announcers area, or the show office, I should say, around the corner to your left, and get the Paul Harvey rest of the story. If you're not just sure how that functions, we'll definitely accommodate and advise you on how to move forward. Whatever sponsorship, if you'd like to step in and help these members who have had another very successful year.
blasting the radio. We got both windows down and no one around. Don't have to take it slow. We got 10 miles of open road. Blasting the radio. We got both windows down and no one around. Don't have to take it slow. We're good to go. So much that we don't know. Yeah, there's so much we can't control. But we got both windows down and wide open ground. Ain't gonna take it slow. We're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Our judges have made their choices. The mic over to Georgia.
A really strong group class here today. You really have to appreciate all the steers, and I'd just like to give all the members one last round of applause. All the juniors did an exceptional job exhibiting here today, and we're really proud of all the steers in this ring. With that, our first place group steer is going to Viscount over here. You really have to appreciate how complete and how strong these steers are, and just a really nice group of finished complete steers. And our second place is going to the Monarch Club. Another really nice complete group, maybe just not as strong, but a really complete group to round out the class. Third place, we have Carlton Trail in the corner here. A really complete group, and we really appreciate them for how moderate framed and how nicely finished they are. Oh, sorry, they're Viscount. Our fourth place is going to the Saskatoon Club in the corner on this side over here. A really nice complete group of black steers. Now our fifth place is going to actually Carlton Trail over here. And then our sixth place is going to Crown Hill. Another really complete group of steers. We just like to see them match a little bit more today. And rounding out the class is the other Saskatoon team.
Hey, Kurt.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. We just want to confirm some placings here. Thanks for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. First place in our Pen of 5 group of steers, Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Second place goes to the Monarch Multiple 4-H Beef Club. Third place to the Viscount 4-H Beef Club. Fourth place goes to the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Fifth place, Carlton Trail 4-H Beef Club. In sixth place, Crown Hill 4-H Beef Club. And seventh place to the Saskatoon 4-H Beef Club. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a great crowd to work with today. I appreciate your responsive applause in that. I'd like to thank my good friend Wade Beck, longtime friend of mine from the Charlet business. Great to see him here today with his daughter Georgia, and I think they've done an outstanding job, and I'd like to invite you to join me. A nice round of applause for our judges. Really appreciate Wade and Georgia Beck with us here today. Congratulations to all our members. Once again, we look forward to seeing you in attendance tonight at 6:30 for our finished beef sale. A great opportunity to support all these 4-H members and their efforts at getting a start in the beef industry. And all the best. We look forward to seeing you again here next year for our finished beef sweepstakes. Travel safe and take care.